Caylee Marie Anthony was an American girl who lived in Orlando, Florida with her mother, Casey Marie Anthony, and her maternal grandparents, George and Cindy Anthony. On June 15, 2008, she was reported missing in a 911 call made by Cindy, who said she had not seen Caylee for 31 days and that Casey's car smelled like a dead body had been inside of it. Cindy said that Casey had given varied explanations as to Caylee's whereabouts before finally telling her that she had not seen Caylee for weeks. On December 11, 2008, 2-year-old Caylee's skeletal remains were found with a blanket inside a laundry bag in a wooden area near the Anthony family's house. Casey was charged with first-degree murder in October 2008 but pled not guilty. Hi everyone, today we'll be talking about the tragic death of Caylee Anthony and the trial of her mother Casey Anthony. The trial has often been compared to that of O.J. Simpson, with the media frenzy surrounding the verdict. This led Time magazine to call it the social media trial of the century. So, if you're interested in dark and mysterious stories, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all notification buttons to stay updated on all of our latest videos. First, let's start from the disappearance of Caylee Anthony. According to Casey Anthony's father, George Anthony, Casey left the family's home on June 16, 2008, taking her daughter with her, and did not return for 31 days. Casey's mother Cindy asked repeatedly during the month to see Caylee, but Casey claimed that she was too busy with a work assignment in Tampa, Florida. At other times, she said Caylee was with a nanny by the name of Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. It was eventually determined that a woman named Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez did in fact exist, but that she had never met Casey, Caylee, or any other member of the Anthony family. Learning that Casey's car was in a tow yard, George Anthony went to recover it. He and the yard attendant noted a strong smell coming from the trunk. Both later stated that they believed that the odor to be that of a decomposing body. But when the trunk was opened, it contained only a bag of trash. Cindy reported Caylee missing that day, which was July 15, to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. During the same telephone call, Casey confirmed to the 911 operator that Caylee had been missing for 31 days. Sounding distraught, Cindy said, "There is something wrong. I found my daughter's car today and it smelled like there's been a dead body in the damn car." During the investigation, Casey would lie to detectives, telling them that Caylee had been kidnapped by a nanny on June 9th and that she had been trying to find her but was too afraid to alert the authorities. When Detective Yuri Malik of the Orange County Sheriff's Department began investigating Caylee's disappearance, he found discrepancies in Casey's side statements. When questioned, Casey said Caylee had been kidnapped by her nanny, Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. Although Casey had talked about her, Zenaida had never been seen by Casey's family or friends, and in fact, there was no nanny. Casey also told police that she was working at Universal Studios. Investigators took Casey to Universal Studios on July 16, 2008, the day after Caylee was reported missing, and asked her to show them her office. Casey led detectives around the building for around 25 minutes before she stopped. She started smiling and jokingly admitted that she had no office there and that she had been fired years before. Following this, Casey was charged the following day with giving false statements to law enforcement, child neglect, and obstruction of a criminal investigation. On October 14, 2008, Casey Anthony was indicted by a grand jury on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of providing false information to police. On December 11, 2008, 2-year-old Caylee's skeletal remains were found with a blanket inside a laundry bag in a wooden area near the Anthony family's house. Investigative reports and trial testimonials varied between duct tape being found near the front of the skull and on the mouth of the skull. The medical examiner mentioned the duct tape was one reason she determined the death was a homicide, while the cause of death was listed as death by undetermined means. 400 pieces of evidence were presented. Damning evidence, including a strand of hair, was recovered from the trunk of Casey's car, which was microscopically similar to hair taken from Caylee's hairbrush. The strand showed root branding, in which hair roots form a dark band after death, which was consistent with hair from a dead body. In October 2009, officials released 700 pages of documents relating to the Anthony investigation, including records of Google searches of the term neck breaking and how to make chloroform on a computer accessible to Casey, presented by prosecutors as evidence of a crime. During the well-publicized trial, where multiple witnesses were summoned, the prosecution alleged an intentional murder and sought the death penalty against Caylee Anthony. Prosecutors stated that Anthony had used chloroform to render her daughter unconscious before putting duct tape over her nose and mouth to suffocate her, and left Caylee's body in the trunk of a car for a few days before disposing of it. They characterized Caylee Anthony as a party girl who killed her daughter to free herself from parental responsibility and enjoy her personal life. The defense, led by Jose Baez, claimed in opening statements that Caylee drowned accidentally in the family's pool on June 16, 2008 and was found by George Anthony, who told Casey she would spend the rest of her life in jail for child neglect and then proceeded to cover up Caylee's death. Baez argued this is why Caylee Anthony went on with her life and failed to report the incident for 31 days. He alleged that it was the habit of a lifetime for Casey to hide her pain and pretend that nothing was wrong because she had been sexually abused by George Anthony since she was 8 years old, and her brother Lee had also made sexual advances towards her. On July 5, 2011, the jury found Caylee Anthony not guilty on counts of 1 through 3 regarding first-degree murder, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and aggravated child abuse, while finding her guilty on counts 4 through 7 for providing false information to law enforcement. The judge of the case, Judge Perry, sentenced Casey to 1 year in the county jail and $1,000 in fines for each of the 4 counts of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, which was the maximum penalty prescribed by law. Caylee Anthony received 1,043 days credit for time served plus additional credit for good behavior, resulting in her release on July 17, 2011. On January 27, 2013, Caylee Anthony filed for bankruptcy with the Middle District of Florida Bankruptcy Court, with her estimated liabilities between $500,000 and $1 million. Till now, nobody will ever know the truth of Caylee Anthony's death, and I could only hope that there will be some closure in the very near future. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Drop a comment down below on what you think of this video. If you have other stories you wish for me to cover, leave a comment and a link for me to look deeper into it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. I'll see you in our next Campfire Stories. Thank you for watching.